Hi there, I'm Vickie Bacon. I'm lead APLS for the UK and Ireland, and APLS stands for Apple Professional Learning Specialist. And I'm here partnering today with academia because I work with a lot of the schools to support them to include technology in their classroom in an effective way. So, as a teacher, the first thing I need to be really focused on is that I need to make my time when I'm planning effective and efficient. So when I'm working with my colleagues, the time that I'm working with them is precious, and I need to capture that and make sure that I'm able to duplicate it for my students in a way that I only have to do the job once, and then I can work with students. Things that I focus on is getting the lesson started straight away. So with Apple Classroom, I'm able to do that. It's an app that's free, and only the teacher needs the app because it works on Bluetooth with your students' iPads. You get them enrolled. Really simply, Apple Classroom does all the work for you. It gives you a code for your students. I'm just going to come out of here and just drop into Classroom to show you what it looks like. The students come into your class and you would have up to 100 on here. And then I can use these icons here to control my class. If I had an iPad here, it would activate, and with this button, I would be able to see the screen of that child. Okay? I can also here, very quickly and easily, I can open up resources to my students. So the app is opened directly. Everyone at the same time can start the lesson. What it doesn't do, it doesn't replace you as the teacher. What it allows you to do is give your students a clear pathway of where they're going to be and what they're going to learn, and then it's down to you to do that teaching. The other things I can do with Apple Classroom is I can lock them, all the iPads. I like to call it a learning pause, because that enables me, because in my classroom management, it enables me to control what's happening with my students. So Apple Classroom is a great thing to use in the background when you've got iPads near you, because it also records all of the data on all of the iPads simultaneously. So if you wanted to see who's tapping what at what time, this gives you that data. Let's think now about designing learning experiences. Because we are very used to encompassing everybody's need within the classroom, our learning experiences have to be designed so that we can effectively do that and give choice. So that's what I'm going to show you now. I want you to be able to support your individual needs through the inbuilt features to personalise learning, because we want to promote that intellectual independence really of your students and give them the voice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a learning experience, and it's in numbers here. This is a learning experience using numbers. Now, if you're an iPad user, you'll know that numbers is the spreadsheet app for maths. What I've done here is I've taken away that, and I'm just going to use it as an endless whiteboard, because the inbuilt features that I've got here in the media section, I can add any of these links in to my work. Whether that's a voice note, a video, or a link out to somewhere else. I can also add in here AR links. as well, directly for my students. So when I duplicate this for my students, it's already pre-resourced. Before I just move through the structure of it, just have a look at the way that's laid out. It's not a lot of text, it's not text heavy, but it is dual coded. So I can use the inbuilt features in iPad to speak the text, and I can also have an audio note on the top to make sure that that understanding is clear for those students that need it. Do you notice also I've used icons? So I've got a camera there to show that there is a video for them to go straight into and start to experience what they're going to do with their challenge. So that motivation to learn is really there. We're kind of tickling the curiosity of the student before we start. Okay. Before I move on from this bit, just take a quick look at the top here, these tabs. So each of these tabs is designed to encourage the students to work through in a structured way, but giving them the opportunity to give back the information in whichever way they choose. So you can see I've got links as well as direction here. Good teachers will always structure like a sequence of learning. So it's what do you already know? What are you bringing to this? And then what ideas might you have? So these ideas come directly then from going into an AR app, for example. So for this one here, the Mars Explorer, I could work directly in, for example, the Mission to Mars app, and just go directly into that Explorer. And you can see the portal is directly there. So if I wasn't tethered, I could walk through that portal and see Mars around me with my iPad. You see. So how we do that and how we position it as teachers for our students is really important. Within this experience, on the next tab, I've also got a link to the coding. Because as you know, on iPad, we have a curriculum called Swift Playgrounds and the Learn to Code app that will work beautifully with this experience because we want them to code a device that can mimic a Mars rover, for example. The testing, I want to be able to experience from the student's perspective how the testing is gone. And here is where I would ask them to use screen record. I've just swiped down from the top corner here, and can you see this button at the bottom? If I tap on that, it's starting to record my iPad. So you can see that up there it's got a record button, and now I can record whatever's going on my iPad, either recording my voice or not, and that would then be able to go into their photos and added into the work. When it comes to planning for learning, and you're supported with technology, you can use the built-in features in iPad to make such a difference in your workload. That's because the built-in features give you the flexibility to adapt to the needs of your learners. So these are the simple ways that I was showing you to keep on track that structure of learning, to allow your students to move through in a way that's controlled but at their pace, and also to activate their curiosity of what might come next. They have access to all the tools that are built into the iPad: photos, video, voice notes. So these are all the bits and pieces that we've just talked about. This is Freeform. Does anybody know Freeform? Okay, so this is the new app from Apple, and all I've done is replicated what I've done in Numbers, but I've put it onto a freeform board. And these freeform boards, as you can see here, have exactly the same features. And if I tap on one of those, it opens the link. So I'm just going to very quickly come out of there to go into Freeform. Freeform is another way of doing that. And the secret to this is, as a planning document for you as teachers, you just duplicate it and then you've got a resource for your students. So you've halved your time. Okay, last thing I'm going to be able to speak to you about. You might be thinking, but Vickie, I don't actually know how to do all of those things. And we've got Apple Teacher as a way of supporting you to get those skills. It's completely free. So all you need to do is go to appleteacher.com and you can register for access to those tutorials. So thank you so much for listening. Can you believe that's 20 minutes whizzed past? If you want to come and me to demonstrate that more closely for you, I'll be on the academia stand, which is NG35. I hear they've got some really good goodie bags. But please do come and have a talk with me, because it's quite difficult for me to show you in this environment. But I really do appreciate the time that you spent with me this morning, and I hope that this has started your journey in Bett off in a really positive way. So thank you so very much for your time. Appreciate it.